and welcome to Fairport Harbor Public Library's Test Kitchen. Tonight, we have an incredibly challenging recipe. So challenging that we're using a recipe. We're making ants on a log. Yep, really truly. Ants on a log.
Well, not really. We're making ants on a log salad, which is a recipe from the cookbook Cook Figs. Is that what it's called?
No.
Eat Figs?
That was last
Oh,
night.
it's called Cook This Book. And it's actually a really awesome book. I just forgot the name of it. But anyways, it sort of updates the...
Cook this book.
There's a lot of awesome pictures in it, some really accessible recipes, a lot of creative things. Like this is just turning the traditional kid snack into a pretty adult salad. And so we are going to make it. It's a rice vinegar vinaigrette with celery, apples, and dates instead of raisins, and crushed peanuts. So
Here we go.
let's see how it goes. What's the first step? Slice the celery?
The first step is make the dressing.
Okay.
In a large bowl, whisk 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar. I happen to have rice vinegar at home because I do a lot of Asian-y kind of things, and it's handy. She doesn't care what comes next. 3 tablespoons of olive oil, see?
I read it. Equal parts olive oil and vinegar. If you don't have rice vinegar, you can use... I'd go apple cider for this because you're already using apples. I think that would be your next... Actually, that might have been my first choice. But we're following the recipe.
No, we're not. She just put in half a pound of crushed pepper.
That was not more than half of a teaspoon. We are
There's
using...
going to be a quiz after.
We're using sugar. The recipe calls for honey. You can use honey. You could use maple syrup. Just put a teaspoon of some sort of sweetener in there.
And then
Whisk.
whisk.
That was it?
Yep. Okay, what did I leave out? I'm famous for doing that.
Salt. We'll go into that.
That's all you.
Okay. A little salt.
I do believe that this here dressing is most right. Actually, you want to know the truth? I would put all the parts in a small canning jar, put a lid on it, and shake it. Because I think it blends better.
I think that looks good.
Is that 10? Did you count?
Yeah, this is 10. So the recipe says to pick the leaves off your celery. I kind of like celery leaves. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, the picture has the leaves in it.
Oh, maybe you add them after separately. So I'm peeling off some of them that are kind of wilted, but here's a trick with celery. If you think it's too stringy, break off one of the ends, and then you can kind of peel it, and it takes off some strings for you. You can do it from either end, just break a little bit of it and peel, and then it gets rid of a lot of the parts that nobody likes.
My mother used to do that every year at Thanksgiving and Christmas when she stuffed the celery with cream cheese and other non-fattening, incredibly bad for you food.
Yeah, we're slicing this into small pieces, so it probably does not really matter, but if you don't like celery strings, that's how you get them off.
And it really changes the whole texture of the celery. It makes it very tender.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. Okay, now, can you all see this? The 10 celery stuff.
It says to cut
those.
I did. There's 10 right here.
I'm so proud of you.
It says to cut them on a bias, which just means on an angle, which means nothing when you're chopping celery, but it just gives them a little bit of a fancier little presentation. You can cut them into any shape that you want. Keeping them on the small side just because it's a salad and I don't want giant chunks of celery. If you want giant chunks of celery, cut them bigger. Okay, now these go in the
Sure,
bowl.
well, I'm assuming. There they go.
And then a whole shallot and a whole apple? Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so this is the easiest way to cut an apple. Just go around the core, 4 sides, feed that to the squirrels, and then you're good to go with your apple pieces. We're going to cut these into thin pieces, just like the celery.
Oops.
It's very loud chopping here.
It's a Granny Smith apple. It asks specifically for Granny Smith apple. I'm assuming to counteract the sweet of the sugar and the dates.
Yeah, Granny Smiths are a crunchy apple. You don't want to get one of those soft. Well, I never want a soft apple, but you know, some are less crunchy than others, and sweeter. Like Kathy said, we're balancing the sweet and the savory here. We have a lot of acid from the vinegar. We're getting acid from the apple, and then that's balanced with the sweet of the dates, the salty of the peanuts.
This is a shallot.
Yeah.
These are cute little tiny oniony things that have a very mild flavor. And they're kind of fun to use. Again, it's something I have in my refrigerator just for fun.
And it's something that I never have in my refrigerator. I just use onions. So you can do whatever you want.
And I use them in soups a lot. Our videographer is very fond of cauliflower soup. And when leeks are out of season, I use shallots.
One of the benefits of shallots is they're small and they usually have multiple little pieces in them. So they kind of separate. You're probably like, yeah, onions all have that. These are different. They have like multiple like sections of shallot inside the ring. I don't know if that makes sense or if you can see what I'm talking about. But they separate into smaller pieces.
And they're very pretty colors. It's not the same as a purple onion.
So when I put these in here, I'm kind of just...
It's kind of a really pretty...
Just smushing them up so that they fall apart into
lavender color. You can't see this. But they're very pretty color.
Bring the bowl up this way a little bit. Move it up.
Whoa! And that is the whisk going everywhere but in the bowl.
So dates are like giant raisins. Have you ever had a fresh date? I
don't think so.
I haven't either. I've only had dried dates. I assume they would be really, really good fresh. If you've had a fresh date, let us know.
Yeah, seriously. Shannon!
Put it in the comments and tell us all about fresh dates. They are very chewy.
They're very sweet. You could probably substitute raisins, although the texture would be different. And I would use golden raisins because they tend to be softer. Not that I know what the heck the difference is between a golden raisin and a purple raisin.
The golden raisin was made from a green grape.
From a green grape. Yeah. Ha! Aren't you smart?
Dates are also very sticky, so when you put them in, just kind of, same as with the shallots, make sure that you separate all your little pieces. Normally when you buy dates, they have a giant pit in the middle. Kathy's already removed them from ours. So just be aware, do not just pull them out of the package and put one in your mouth.
Try to chop them up, you'll pop a tooth or a filling. Yeah.
But you can just kind of rip them open and find the seed. It's certainly not difficult to find.
Great. Date seed. I love dates. Can you tell?
2 more to go. Hope you're all enjoying this chopping video.
This is knife skills.
We need sharper knives. Or dates are just very chewy. Actually, the recipe says to rip them. It doesn't even say to cut them.
Yeah, then your fingers get disgusting.
Very sticky.
I would have tossed them in the sugar we put in here and put them in the food processor and skipped all of this.
Good idea. Peanuts.
Yep. Do you want to measure? No, you have it.
It says 3/4 of a cup, which is kind of a lot of peanuts. Does it say to chop them up?
No, but I think it should be.
Okay. You can put the peanuts in whole if you want. Apparently that's what the recipe says to do. But I think we'll get more peanut flavor throughout if they're cut smaller. And ants on a log is really heavy peanut flavor. I mean, that's like half the recipe.
They're supposed to, actually, we're supposed to crush them. But we don't
Oh, okay.
roll them, so.
Yeah, an easy way to do this is to put them in like a freezer bag or something and just bash them.
Pound the crap out of them with a hammer. It makes you feel much better if you've had a crappy day.
Okay, peanuts. And then basil?
Basil.
How much basil?
Well, a cup, but that's like way too much, I think.
Yeah, I think this addition of basil is something that goes more outside the box of ants on a log, because obviously that doesn't have basil. This looks like a really good salad.
Look how pretty.
So to chop basil, I'm just kind of rolling it up in a ball. And then we can go over it a couple times to get it where we want it to be. And basil also can be torn if you don't have a very sharp knife, which we don't right here.
We apparently don't.
It bruises pretty easily. And tearing it actually will eliminate some of that. Alright. So the only thing we're missing is salt, which I think is down here.
It smells really yummy. It smells like spring and summer. Can you see this? It's absolutely beautiful. This is one. I don't know if you'll ever be able to convince your kids that this is ants on a log, but there you go, kid.
Make sure we got a piece of everything here. Oh, that's good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And there you have it.
It
Ants on the log.
It is
Adult
ants on a
stuff.
log, yeah. You definitely get that. I like it a lot.
Okay, yep, this cookbook is a keeper.
For sure.
All
Thanks
right,
for
Kathleen,
watching.
you ready?
Ready?
Yep.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Okay, see you next time.